Okay, so I'm just gonna record a video without you looking at me because I am in no condition. I just woke up and I'm super tired. But I really wanted to put this down on paper. Well, not paper, but you know what I mean. So I was just listening to a thing by Kyle Gray about why you don't see angels and why you're scared to see them, basically. And when it got to the end part where he was talking about how you don't feel worthy of that love, that unconditional love. You don't feel worthy of that love. And when he started talking about that, oh my gosh, it was like my angel was talking directly to me. Like everything he was saying was like directed at me, and like I felt it so deep in my soul that like I just was bawling my eyes out. And it was just crazy. It was just crazy. It was just crazy that, you know, there are earth angels that channel messages and you just know that that message is for you and that you're meant to hear it, and it just breaks your heart wide open. So that's what happened to me with that. And, you know, I've been working really hard on myself, and it's a constant thing. I mean, because there's lots of work to do. But just still knowing that, you know, not feeling worthy of that love, you know, lots of people feel that way. And when you feel that love, it's so intense. It's so intense, like it just overwhelms you. Like you just don't know what to do with it. You don't even have any words for it. And so usually I just cry. Like when I feel like my angels are around me and I ask for them to come around me and I feel that love that they're just shining on me, like I start to well up and cry because I'm just so overwhelmed by it. And I'm like, am I overwhelmed by it because I don't feel like I deserve all of that? Gosh, even now it's making me emotional. It's so crazy. Like I deserve all of that. You deserve all of that. Everybody deserves all of that love. You know? And so the last couple of days have just like rocked my world. Like I'm just I'm a good emotional mess, but I'm an emotional mess because it's just making me feel things that I need to feel and let things go. I was at a crystal shop yesterday evening in Mount Shasta, and I was looking around. There's lots of stuff. I was like, I'm in heaven. The store is just amazing. There's like 4 rooms of just like amazingness, and I'm just like in heaven basically. And I'm like, I don't know what to get. And I got to this one section where there was wands, and it was really pretty. It was like a chakra wand, the blue stone, and like clear quartz at the bottom and a clear quartz ball on the top. And I picked one up, and I was like, it was heavy, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And I started to feel super emotional. Like I've only had this happen a couple of times in my life where something or a place I've been, or it was actually happening in a place where I was at, and it was actually where some statues of the Virgin Mary and other things where I got super emotional. But this wand I was holding was bringing up these feelings, and I didn't know what they were, but the instant feeling was when I picked it up was, this was meant to be mine. This is familiar. This was meant to be mine. As I just felt just an instant knowing. And I was like, this is mine. This is mine. It just, you know, and it was like so weird. But then like the feeling started coming up. I won't say it came up from like my abdomen. It was just rising up, just like, I don't know, something rising to the surface. And it started to get more and more intense as I stood there and held it. And so I was just trying to manage my feelings, manage my emotions that were coming up. And sometimes you can manage them, and sometimes you can't. I'm like, well, maybe it's the emotions of me feeling that love, you know, that I feel. And sometimes I get overwhelmed by it. And then it started to get more and more intense. And I'm like, okay, I had to put it down. Like I couldn't manage my emotions anymore. I had to set it down. So I set it down, and I was like, man, I gotta shake this off. Like that was crazy. Okay, and I'm like, well, maybe it's somebody else's residual energy, because I have a tendency to pick up on energy. And so I'm like, maybe it's somebody else's residual energy they left in the wand, maybe. And so I walked away. I'm like, that's not meant for me, mine, because like I'm going to be an emotional wreck if I take this home and hold it. So I walked to the store and I'm looking, and then I found another case, and there was some wands. There was one that was in there just like the one. And I also had picked up another wand that was the same, just to see if I had the same kind of feelings. And I picked up the one that looked just like the one I had just held, and it was nothing. I didn't feel anything, no intense emotions or anything. So I'm like, well, it's obviously that particular wand. And so then I walked to another case, and they had other wands. There are ones with the angel on top. As a matter of fact, I can show you because I have it right here. But, ooh, hard to see in this light, but here it is. It's got all the chakra colors, so it's got the amethyst at the bottom. Anyway, so this is it. It's got the angel on top. It's really hard to focus, I'm sorry. But anyway, so I found that one and I really liked it. And I mentioned to the lady, I said, so I had picked up another wand over there. I said, but I got super emotional. And I said, so I put it down. She's like, that's the one you need. And I'm like, what? She's like, that is the one you need. It's trying to bring something out of you that you need to let go. It's trying to help you heal. And I was like, okay. And so when they brought it over, I said, are you sure that's the right one? Because I said it was the one on the end. I think, yeah, it was the one on the end. And then it got handed to me. And as soon as I put it in my hand and I'd asked if it was the right one, like, I instantly knew that was the right one. I instantly felt the same stuff starting to come up, but it came up faster this time. And I looked at her and I was like, I had that look of like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I can't. And of course you can, but I can't do this. Plus I'm in the store. I'm in the store and I'm going to cry. And so I was just thinking, I can't do this. And then I started to cry. And I'm just like bawling my eyes out in front of this woman. And I'm like, what the hell? And she's like, you need to let it. You need to let it out. And, don't try and hold it back. And I just, yeah. I don't know how to there was no words to describe, and I couldn't even tell you what was happening. I just know that it was basically buckling me to my knees, even though I didn't fall to the ground, and I was having to surrender and just be in that moment. And it didn't matter who was around me, what anybody thought of me. There was no control. I was completely powerless over the situation, and I needed to just roll with it. She said it's rare that it happens, but when it does happen like that, it's a beautiful thing. And that means the stone has picked me, and that I need to work with that stone. And so she let me be for a moment by myself, and then I put it down, and I was trying to recuperate, and I'm just like sobbing my eyes out. And then she brought to my attention when I went to go to the counter, she's like, okay, so you journal. It's like she knew I journaled. Like, she's telling me, she's like, when you journal, she's like, what you do, right? And I was like, yeah, I do. But she seemed like she knew stuff. But anyway. And so she's like, I want you to meditate with the stone, but, do it in small doses because it's so powerful and it's so overwhelming. And she's like, and I want you to just go with it and let whatever happens happen and journal it. Like, journal whether you get a feeling or a picture or an emotion or whatever it is. Journal that as you're doing that. And then she's like, and I want you to increase your increments, time that you're able to hold that one. And she's like, and then just keep journaling. And then she said, after a week, I want you to look back on your journal and see what you discover. And so that's what I plan on doing. But I guess the point is that, like, it's crazy that like I've never had, I love crystals. I have tons of crystals, even though I have a shelf over there with a bunch of them. Matter of fact, I even have this new little green heart one. It's so pretty. I've been attracted to the color green lately because, you know, Archangel Raphael is green and healing, and I pulled his card the other day in my angel deck. And funny green stuff too, like coincidences, like really, my fish over here, I ended up getting them and they are green. So it's hilarious that I didn't even realize that all these colors that I'm bringing into my life, and they're all green. So nothing is coincidence. I couldn't even tell you all the coincidences because I write them down as they're happening, but it was like, I had to do with somebody asking me right after this, I realizing about the green fish, and they're asking me about a green highlighter, and then something else in my message, somebody said green something or other. Anyway, it was so weird and coincidental. But the synchronicities, like you have, like if you look at the synchronicities and look at all the messages in them, they're totally everywhere. And it's just a trip how things happen like that. So I'm going to work with a wand. It's actually over here on my shelf. So here's all my decks and stuff. But anyway, oh, and I got this angel too. She's so pretty. And it reminded me of, I had to have her because it reminded me of, like, I get my inspiring messages out in nature. Like, I feel like that's what I'm most connected to, my angels and to the divine or my higher power or whatever you want to call it. And so she's made of, like, she looks like she's made of wood. It's not wood, but it looks like she's made of wood. And she's holding acorns. And it's funny because, like, that's the oak trees. Like, I talk about the oak trees when I'm looking at the oak trees. The oak trees let go of what no longer serves them when it's time, when they drop their acorns. And then from a tiny acorn can grow this beautiful, giant, strong, sheltering, fabulous, old, wise tree. And they start small as like the acorn dropping from the tree because we let go of what no longer served us. And then the earth transmuted into something beautiful and powerful. And it starts off with a tiniest little root system that continues to grow and get thicker and stronger and bigger. And that's kind of like what path I'm on right now is, you know, I'm trying to let go of what no longer serves me and then allow things to grow and take hold and grow big and strong and wise and powerful. And if you ever notice that angel wings, they look like hearts on the back. So that is what she meant to me. That's why I got her. And then over here in the bag is my wand that I'm not going to touch. It's wrapped in bubble wrap. And when I touched it, it totally... didn't even touch it very long in the bubble wrap. I totally started to feel the emotions start to come up in me instantly. And I was like, put it down. Because I was like, oh, and after the episode, I was so weak in my knees. I was just completely weak in my knees. I could barely walk, and I was just so wiped out. Like, it just took everything out of me. But there's some more of my stuff up there I love so much. You can probably see my crystal even better in the light here. So you can see it. There we go. But anyway, it's very pretty. So I just thought I would share. I just wanted to come on and share that story because it's just so crazy. And that's Kuan Yin in the background. She's all about love and compassion, and I love Kuan Yin too. And then I have Archangel Michael down here because he's my protector. Yes. Yeah, over here I don't have the light on, but I have like on my Native American flute, and then I've got my singing bowl, tons of crystals, got another bloodstone angel there, and so I got some heart stones. I wanted to get all the different colors for your chakras, so I got a couple different ones yesterday to use for that, and I've got all kinds of crystals up here, and then I've got my stuff down here, rocks and unicorn and whatnot. Oh, my beautiful plant, it's growing, it's so beautiful. You know, if you talk to plants, they actually grow better. Yeah. So anyway, so with that said, I am going to work with my wand that's in that bag right there. Oh, another thing, another message. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen that show Tots. It's a cartoon, and if you have kids, you know what it is. It's Tots, and there's that song "Be Brave." So when I started working on myself, like one morning I woke up and that song was stuck in my head. It was so weird. Be brave, and I knew it was my angels giving me a message to be brave. And then another time when I went to go purchase something that I was afraid to purchase, it was an event I was going to go to. Anyway, with Colette Baron Reed. And that song came on about being brave. And I was like, that's a message, totally a message. And then, so random, in the car drive home, after I just was moving the bag with the wand in it, that wand, I was like, I don't want to touch it right now. And I put the songs on the car, Bluetooth, and the first song that came on when the songs came on in the car, right after I had just said that about the one, was the Be Brave song. And I was like, oh my God, that is that is such not a coincidence. That was such a matter of fact like message that be brave, like this wand in here is going to bring some things out of me that I need to deal with. And yes, it's going to be hard, and it's not going to be easy, because even when I think about the wand, it just makes me want to cry. But be brave, because in the end, it's all worth it. And that's what it boils down to, is all these things that come up in our life that we have to deal with. It's all worth it. It's all worth working through. Totally is all worth working through. So anyway, oh my gosh, I feel so amped up, worn out, but I'm happy. I woke up this morning and I was happy about my life, and I was super grateful, more grateful than I've ever been. Even looking at this picture here, I can just feel the sun just beaming in on me and lighting me up. And my just this feeling of love and joy and stuff that I haven't felt. And like, even though my life's not perfect right now, it doesn't have to be. It's exactly where it needs to be, and exactly where I need to be to learn everything that I need to learn and be who I need to be. And I just keep doing and keep doing me and keep doing it until I get it right, and sharing the message, because like those two angels on earth, like Kyle and this woman in the store, like they were meant to be there. They were meant for me. And when you're hearing a message, even if it's in a song, like when you're hearing a message, and that it's meant for you, because it just rocks you to your core. And like Kyle said, everything you need is in your heart. And if I just learn to tap into that, for me, I need tools. I need tools like this to help me. Like, eventually maybe I won't, but I need tools like this to help me connect and do stuff like that. And so like for me, the messages started coming when I started going out into nature, and I started really, even if I'm listening to music, I'm always listening to music, just being in nature and listening to music, I can be connected and so plugged in and tuned in. And it's just such a good feeling. So even in those rough times, I know I have those to go back to. There's a picture of a hummingbird back there. So anyway, and my little heart leaf up there, isn't that beautiful? And I find heart rocks, but that was my emergency medical technician, which is funny because that's Archangel Raphael's symbol, is the medical symbol. And so I have a feeling that he and I are going to be working more closely together soon. So I feel him smiling. And look, that green felt right there. Anyway, I just thought I would share, and I hope you have a blessed day, and I love you.